There's a story about a preaching professor at Harvard University who tells the story of the year his 5-year-old son was working on an art project in his kindergarten class. It was made of plaster, resembled nothing in particular, but with some paint, some sparkle, and time in a kiln, it was ready to be wrapped as a gift. The boy wrapped it himself and was beside himself with excitement. It would be a gift for his father, 3 months in the making. Early in December, when the child could hardly contain the secret, the last day of school finally came. All the parents arrived for the big Christmas party, and when the students left for home, they were finally allowed to take their ceramic presents home. The professor's son secured his gift, ran toward his parents, tripped, and fell to the floor. The gift went airborne, and when it landed on the cafeteria floor, the shattering sound stopped all conversations. It was perfectly quiet for a moment, as all involved considered the magnitude of the loss. For a 5-year-old, there had never been a more expensive gift. He crumpled down to the floor next to his broken gift and just started crying. Both parents rushed to their son, but the father was uncomfortable with the moment. After all, people were watching. His son was crying. So he patted the boy on the head and said, "Son, it's okay. It doesn't matter." His wife glared at the great professor. "Oh yes, it matters," she said to both of her men. "Oh yes, it does matter." She cradled her son in her arms, rocked him back and forth, and cried with him. In a few minutes, the crying ceased. "Now," said the mother, "let's go home and see what we can make of what's left." And so, with mother's magic and a glue gun, they put together from the broken pieces a multicolored butterfly. Amazingly, the artwork after the tragedy was actually more beautiful than what it had been in a pre-broken state. At Christmas, the gift was finally given. And as long as he taught at Harvard, this professor kept that butterfly on his desk because it was a constant reminder that grief is real and that loss hurts. One of the great enduring hymns that is often sung at Christmas time is "O Holy Night." And here are the words to the first stanza. "O holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and darkness pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angel voices. O night divine, O night when Christ was born, O night, O holy night, O night divine." As my friend and colleague in ministry, Kara English, says, we live in a weary world, just like that hymn says. And this year has been particularly weary. But the words of this hymn ring out for me this year because that's not all that it says. In the midst of that weariness, there is a thrill of hope. And this weary world rejoices because something is breaking forth anew and a glorious morn. Amidst all the brokenness in this world, among all the shattered pieces of our prized possessions, like the piece of pottery that the professor's son had made, or the very pieces of your own life that we have to put back together, there is a thrill of hope. And that is what tonight, Christmas Eve, is all about. It's about the thrill of hope that God takes all of our pieces, our broken pieces, all of our brokenness, and in the miracle of new life in the form of a baby Jesus, puts us back together again into something new and something glorious. Tonight, my friends, in this wearied world, we fall on our knees to let that hope be a thrill in us, that light of hope breaks forth in us as we celebrate Jesus' birth together. Thanks be to God. Amen.